Globalization and the Indian economy. India has changed tremendously in the last 2 decades. Till the 1990s, choice of goods was limited to the products produced in the country. Today, there is a wide range of commodities for the consumers to choose from in India. Now let's see the production across countries. One of the main reasons for such rapid transformation is the spread of MNCs. The rise of MNCs resulted in the integration of production, trade, investment and markets across the globe. So what is MNC? A MNC is a company that owns or controls production in more than one nation. MNCs set up offices and factories for production in regions where they can get cheap labor and other resources. This is done so that the cost of production is low and the MNCs can earn greater profits. The seeds of such MNCs were sown during colonial times. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Europe-based companies carried out trade with their colonies in Asia and Africa. However, during the colonial period, the colonies produced raw material and foodstuff, while the colonizing countries produced finished goods. Now let's see the merits and demerits of MNCs. Merits. There is an international market for companies, and for consumers there is a wider range of products to choose from. Increase in flow of investments from developed countries to developing countries, which can be used for economic reconstruction. Greater and faster flow of information between countries and greater cultural interaction has helped to overcome cultural barriers. Technological development has resulted in reverse brain drain in developing countries. Interlinking production across countries. At times, MNCs set up production jointly with some of the local companies of the country. The benefit to the local company of such joint production is twofold. First, MNCs can provide money for additional investments like buying new machines for faster production, etc. Second, MNCs might bring with them the latest technology for production. Here, United States of America is linked to many countries for its production. For example, India, Bangladesh, China and Pakistan. The money that is spent to buy assets such as land, buildings, machines and other equipment is called investment. Investment made by MNCs is called foreign investment. By setting up partnerships with local companies, by using the local companies for supplies, by closely competing with the local companies or buying them up, MNCs are exerting a strong influence on production at these distant locations. As a result, production in these widely dispersed locations is getting interlinked. Foreign trade and integration of markets. Foreign trade creates an opportunity for the producers to reach beyond the domestic markets, that is, markets of their own countries. Producers can sell their produce not only in markets located within the country but can also compete in markets located in other countries of the world. With the opening of trade, goods travel from one market to another. Choice of goods in the markets rises. Foreign trade results in connecting the markets or integration of markets in different countries. What is globalization? Globalization is the process of rapid integration or interconnection between countries. Multinational companies are playing a major role in the globalization process. More and more goods and services, investments in technology are moving between countries. Take example of Microsoft. Microsoft is having its headquarters in USA. This company is getting part of its software developed in India and several other countries, and Microsoft software is being used across the world. Another example can be Ford Motors based in USA. Ford is having manufacturing plants in Chennai, and cars manufactured in Chennai go for sale in other countries. Moreover, company may be getting gearboxes produced in some other country, seat belts from a different country, lights, rear view mirrors in some other nation by some other company. Almost all the components get supplied by various vendors to the Ford motor, which assembles them to make a car. Tourism is one of the most important areas that globalization affects. Even could be said that tourism is established with globalization. Besides, it provides to meet different cultures. Also, important changes and fast development can be observed in countries which aim to support the tourist demands and needs. Now let's see the factors that have enabled globalization. First is technology, and the next is liberalization of foreign trade and foreign investment policy. Technology. Rapid improvement in technology has been one major factor that has stimulated the globalization process. In recent times, technology in the areas of telecommunications, computers, internet has been changing rapidly. Liberalization of foreign trade and foreign investment policy. Governments can use trade barriers to increase or decrease foreign trade and to decide what kind of goods and how much of each should come into the country. Removing barriers or restrictions set by the government is what is known as liberalization. With liberalization of trade, businesses are allowed to make decisions freely about what they wish to import or export. The government imposes much less restrictions than before and is therefore said to be more liberal. World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization is one such organization whose aim is to liberalize international trade. WTO rules have forced the developing countries to remove trade barriers. It establishes rules regarding international trade and sees that these rules are obeyed. Now let's see the impact of globalization in India. Globalization and greater competition among producers, both local and foreign producers, has been of advantage to consumers, particularly the well-off sections in the urban areas. There is greater choice before these consumers who now enjoy improved quality and lower prices of several products. MNCs have increased their investments in India over the past 20 years, which means investing in India has been beneficial for them. Also, local companies supplying raw materials etc. to these industries have prospered. Several of the top Indian companies have been able to benefit from the increased competition. Example of various companies which have prospered over the years, made incredible profits. Globalization has also created new opportunities for companies providing services, particularly those involving IT. Competition and uncertain employment. Globalization and the pressure of competition have substantially changed the lives of workers. Faced with growing competition, most employers these days prefer to employ workers flexibly. This means that workers' jobs are no longer secure. Here we can see the engineering institutions in India, the effect of globalization on educational system. Since the year 2008 till 2015, the growth of number of institutions, the percentage of growth and the number of institutions, they increased tremendously. The total intake of seats millions, percentage growth of total intake of seats, total student intake, percentage growth of total student intake, the increase in number of institutions. A remarkable increase can be seen from the year 2008 to the year 2015. The struggle for a fair globalization. Fair globalization would create opportunities for all and also ensure that the benefits of globalization are shared better. The government can play a major role in making this possible. The government can ensure that labor laws are properly implemented and the workers get their rights. It can support small producers to improve their performance till the time they become strong enough to compete. Sadly, we can see here a person holding a board in which looking for a job is written. There is unemployment to a great extent still prevailing in India. Let us quickly see what all we studied so far in the chapter Globalization and the Indian economy. What is globalization? It is the process of rapid integration or interconnection between countries. Globalization, foreign trade and integration of markets. It creates an opportunity for the producers to reach beyond the domestic markets, meaning markets of their own countries. World Trade Organization or WTO, it is one such organization whose aim is to liberalize international trade. The impact of globalization in India, MNCs, multinational companies, have increased their investments in India over the past 20 years, which means investing in India has been beneficial for them. These are the various companies. I hope the topic is clear.